Hi, everybody. Welcome to another English class here on Verbling.com. My name is Lisa, and I'm one of the English teachers here at Verbling. And in this hour, we're going to be having a speaking class, and we're going to be discussing current events. So things that are happening in your country and things that are happening around the world. We're going to look at some different news sites online, and talk about some of the headlines and some of the stories that the different news media they're reporting on. So we're going to just see what's happening in the world today. So some things that I know, of course, are happening around the world would be something like the elections that just happened yesterday in Brazil. Of course, the latest on Ebola, the latest on the Ukraine, things like that. So if you want to practice speaking and using your English to talk about current events and what's happening in the world, then you can go ahead and click on the Join Class button as soon as it is available. What's available right now is the Join Class button for people who have made a reservation. So if you are a Verbling member and you made a reservation for this hour, then you can use that now, because you always have the first 2 minutes of the class to use that. If you made a reservation but you don't show up, that's okay. You can always come to a Verbling class whenever you feel like it. So if you're a little bit late, or if you come 20 minutes into the class, that's okay. Here at Verbling, we have a lot of flexibility, and we're here to serve the students and help you guys improve your English. So hi, Yuki. How are you?
Hi there.
Hi.
Fine.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
That's good.
Monday morning, starting off the week. It's good.
Yes, Monday is a blue. For many people, Monday is a blue, a day of blue.
But not for you, right?
I'm one of these people who have a blue mood.
A blue mood.
Yes, depression kind of.
Yeah. How was your weekend, Yuki? Were you busy with students?
Yes, busy. Yes, every weekend it's a quite busy time for my job, because our students want to take a class on the weekend. But Sunday night, as usual, I played mahjong with my friend.
Cool.
Yes, all the night.
All the night.
So I'm sleepy today. It's also usually thing. So that's why I feel depression now.
Maybe you're tired.
Yes, I little. But your class make me cheerful.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see about that, because we're going to be talking about the news. It's not always.
It makes me gloomy.
Yeah, well.
Bad news maybe.
Yeah, talking about the news isn't always the most uplifting topic, but it can be interesting, and it can be, it's a good way to have a speaking class and talk to other people. It's really interesting, actually, because here at Verbling, compared to if you just meet up with your friends in your town, you might all have a similar opinion or be hearing the same type of information. But I enjoy having a Verbling class like this, because I like to hear from you guys what's happening around the world. So
most of all, I like this kind of class.
Yeah.
Because I like watch the news and read a news article. So I have a great concern to what is happening in this world, including in Japan and in Russia, in America. So
yeah.
Interesting class.
Well, it's definitely interesting, I think. And welcome to Elena. Hi, Elena. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine.
Good.
How are you?
I'm great. Did you have a nice weekend?
Yes, quite nice. Well, yes, I traveled to see my family to another town on Sunday. Okay, it was nice.
Nice. Okay, great. And Andre, welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Fine. Thank you.
I'm good. Welcome back. And Alex. Hi, Alex. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you. How are
Hi.
you?
I'm good, thanks. Okay, guys. Well, what I had in mind for this class is actually kind of like a free flowing conversation where I'll be leading it, but I'm going to be asking you guys some questions, and you can also jump in and talk. So it's a little bit more of a conversation, not just your turn to speak, that type of thing. And if it stays small, so if we only have 4 people in here, that'll work pretty well. When we get more people in the class, it becomes a little harder for everybody to get a chance to speak. But what I wanted to talk about in this hour is just current events. So the idea of current events. And I'm wondering first, where do you guys go to get your news? So that will be the first question. I want to hear from everybody about that. So Alex, I don't know, maybe you don't read the news or look at the news, but if you do, where would you go? Some people don't like to talk about the news.
Yes, I normally don't read the news, the newspaper, and I don't watch TV
Mm-hmm.
neither. So, uh,
So do you kind of know what's happening in the world just by being on the internet and listening to people, or do you actively try to not want to know about it?
no, it's not my purpose not to know.
Oh, okay.
I live a bit disconnected
Mm-hmm.
from the current events,
Yeah.
but yes, when I talk with the people, I yes, I know some news, some things that have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Do you
Yes, by people
by
most.
people, by talking to other people? What about local news? Is that something that you are interested in at all? Or regional, like Spanish news or news of your town, or not so much either?
Not so much, not so
Mhm.
much. I don't usually read newspapers and
Uh-huh.
don't watch TV also. So when if there is something big that has happened, I know it
Yeah,
I know it by the people because people talk about
sure.
these kind of things, and I know it by the time. But
Okay.
for myself,
You're not
I
reading about it in depth or anything. Yeah.
no.
Okay. All right. Andre, what about you? Do you like to keep up with current events? Do you go to specific websites or newspapers or something to read a little bit about the news?
I usually get news from our local site, which is uh, kind of site which is dedicated to our city.
Oh, okay.
I don't watch television
Mm-hmm.
though, um, and usually I get news from my friends if something is happening interesting. But I'm a bit disconnected with the worldwide news, so
Mm,
I'm not following them.
okay.
But sometimes I'm interested in them if if really something great has happened. But it is hard to believe everything which is on TV. So
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Hi, Carlos. Welcome.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm fine.
So we're just getting started here, and people are answering the question like, how do you get the news, or do you even listen to the news, watch the news, keep up with the news? How about you? Where do you go to find out about what's happening, either in your town, your country, or in the world?
Um, I I have a mobile and I
Mm-hmm.
see all through this because I have Twitter
Mm-hmm. Twitter, yeah.
and Facebook and I am informed about all in the world by this platform.
Yeah. Like what other people are posting and things like that.
Yeah, it's very useful because I can see all what I want to see. You know, all the subjects I want to know about.
Sure. Yeah, you can. We say you can focus in on what you're interested in specifically. Yeah, by following pages or tweets. Yeah, that type of thing. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do at this point. And then I follow a link if I want to read more. So,
Yeah.
Elena, what about you? Do you keep up with current events around the world or in Spain?
Well, yes, I try to,
Mm-hmm.
and every day, a couple of times per week, every day, I read some news on the internet. I have I don't know how to say. I have an application that is for feeds.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yes, news
yes,
feeds.
feeds.
Yeah.
News feeds, yes. And I follow there a couple of newspapers and some blogs or other pages that I'm interested in, and I try to get informed that way.
Okay. Great. Sounds like TV and newspapers are kind of on their way out so far for this crowd.
Yes. Especially TV.
Especially, yeah, exactly.
I'm not interested in what TV have to say. In fact, there are some programs that I think that are interesting, and I don't see them. I listen them afterwards as a podcast.
That's a podcast. Yeah, that's.
Yes, and it's okay for me.
Cool.
I don't need the images.
Yeah, that's really interesting too. I also do that as well. I like the podcast, just hearing the audio. It's great. Evren, hi there.
Hello.
Hi, welcome. So Evren, do you keep up with the news at all? And if so, how do you find out about it? What do you use to get the news?
I usually follow up on internet. If I have time to check news, I usually use websites, news websites, and one local, one international. I keep up like that way.
Yeah. Cool. Do you ever follow the news in English as a way to, practice your English?
Yeah. That's true.
Okay, cool.
Like CNN, BBC.
CNN, BBC, right. Yeah, those are pretty popular. Yuki, what about you? You mentioned earlier that you like to keep up with the news. So how do you get it? How do you get your news?
Firstly, I try to read articles and news as much as I can. I put Google News on the first home page on my browser, and I adjust the Google News for my personal use. So my Google News shows the news from countries that I involved in, and my favorite countries: Japan, Russia, Finland, Bulgaria. So, and the second thing I'm doing every day is watching the CNN. My favorite program is Amanpour. Although it is difficult to understand all in the program. And Quest means business. Such a program. And I often watch NHK World because from this program I can find out many interesting about my country, about Japan.
About Japan.
Yes, it's
Yeah, I
very.
like also so much.
Sorry.
I like also NHK World.
Do you found news NHK News, NHK World?
Yes. Yeah,
That's
it's
good. Yes.
enjoyable. I like its programs.
I don't like government channel, but NHK is quite interesting. It's very useful for me, not only improving my English skill, but also knowing about our country, my country deeply, and it's also I can make it use for my class.
Yeah.
To teach Japanese.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
There are many benefits.
So before, I guess we will kind of go to, well, we can just kind of go randomly here. So what do you guys think are some of the top stories that are happening before we actually start looking? We're looking at the Japanese one right here, which obviously has some, but so Alex, back to you. You can write it in the Verbling chat too, like Elena's doing. Alex, without having really done much with current events, what have you been hearing about lately? What are some of the top news stories that we're following, the news media are following? Just off the top of your head, just tell me one.
Yes, the main news I have been hearing is about Ebola.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Exactly. All right, let's just go through some of them, and then we're going to actually talk about some. So first, Ebola. Yeah, that's certainly one. Andre, can you think of another topic that maybe has been in the news recently?
Actually, I think the most significant event is the mess around Ukraine.
Yeah, the Ukraine, and they just had an election, right? Some voting happening in the Ukraine.
I'm not into the deal there, but it is the first thing which came up in my mind.
Yeah, it's definitely coming up on the news as well. So maybe we'll talk about that a little bit. Well, Carlos, what's been something that you've been hearing about in the news recently?
Here in Spain, the last week, the big news is the corruption here.
Corruption in Spain, okay.
Yeah, there is a lot of corruption here. All the politics are involved in it, and all the people feel bad about it. So we want to change the government and all the statesmen here.
Yeah.
I think all the people here is very angry about all these things.
Yeah.
In my country, in Turkey, 3 soldiers were killed by terrorist group, and it make unhappy all Turkish citizens. This is so recently bad news from my country.
Yeah, I've been hearing a little bit too about Turkey, because Turkey's right there in the middle of where like the ISIS is happening, and Syria and the Kurds, and yeah, it's a little confusing.
I live in Iraq.
What? Say it again.
Right now I'm living in Iraq.
Wow. Oh, you're living in Iraq?
Yeah, right now, yes. I mean.
Oh, okay.
And so in this field, so turmoil. So
yeah.
I don't know what will happen, and nobody knows.
Wait, so 3 soldiers were killed in Iraq? Then I was wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, not in Iraq. In Turkey.
Oh, in Turkey. Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. But you're in Iraq right now. Wow. Okay.
In Iraq, maybe daily killing 50 or.
Wow. Jeez. Yeah, lots of stuff happening in that part of the world. Yeah. Elena, you mentioned about Brazil. That's been in the news.
Yes, but in the newspapers, in the international section, but I don't think average people has too much interest of that. So it surprised me because the newspapers covered it a lot, but for most of the people is not very important. Of course, Ebola and of course, corruption is something that we always talk to in the street, at work or whatever. Not resilience elections at all. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
in the
not so relevant.
newspapers,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
No, in the newspapers, it is a main news. That's I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know why.
Yeah. Well, we could talk about that because I have some ideas about why. Yuki, what about you? What do you notice in the news? What's
You know, now I live in the country which has controversial, a lot of controversial issues and scandal. So
Yeah.
relating to the, it is connecting to the conflict in Ukraine. I have more interest in Russian sanctions and including dictatorship, mood of dictatorship and patriotism.
I was talking to one of my Russian students and she was saying because of the sanctions that some of her friends can't get things that they like food because of that. So they're going back to like the potatoes and the normal Russian stuff. Is that
Yes.
true? Yeah?
Yes, partly it's true. Russia, as a retaliation to the sanction from Europe, Russia took a sanction against European countries and regarding foods, cheese, meat. But now I think Russia itself has big problem of distributing to their to its nation, to its people enough amount of food. Especially a lack of meat will be expected. So
really?
Yes. Today I read a very interesting article, BBC, titled "Russia is in grim go it alone mood as a sanction bite."
There you go, right there. Yeah, that one.
It's very interesting.
Yes.
So.
And so in this article, they're talking about.
Yes. You already read?
I found it. Yeah.
You found it very quickly.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a very interesting article, and what is written there is same as the situation I feel now living here. So.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see which one. Well, let me just tell you, I think you guys, higher level students, you're using English a lot more, and I think you know how to navigate through these websites. But certainly, if you go looking for news in English, some of the easier sites to access would be something like the BBC, and you'll see right away what's happening in the news in a lot of different ways, like here's the Ukraine, so this is world news. Of course, this lady, the nurse, they thought she had Ebola. She was quarantined, and now she's mad about how it happened and stuff. So that's kind of related to Ebola. This guy here about the footballer who killed his girlfriend, that's still news. Brazil, Dilma Rousseff has won again, that kind of stuff. And then obviously we always have other types of news, so business related or sports related, that kind of thing. I also like to go to, this is a good one for in the United States, NPR. So it has different types of news that you can come across, like U.S. news or world news, political news, stuff like that. So of course we have Ebola still every day is in the news. Lots of different types of articles about that. The Ukraine we mentioned here, they just were voting. Did you guys hear about the attacker? This guy who shot somebody in Canada. That was kind of big
I
here.
heard about that.
Yeah, that was big here.
Uh-huh.
Closed McDonald's in Moscow. So those are kind of some of the things. And the Brazilian thing.
Still closing.
Yeah, McDonald's closed.
Yes, it takes a very long time.
Wow, yeah. And some people like to go to this site, Democracy Now! It has a little bit more progressive, kind of investigative reporting, so not just short clips, but a little bit more in-depth clips about the same type of thing. You know, the Kurdish and Iraqi forces regaining territory from ISIS. And also some people here like to go to Al Jazeera, but the American website, so it's in English. And kind of a little bit different take on some things. Instead of like from the American point of view, it's from a Middle Eastern point of view. So some people, you know, try to get different points of view so you can hear about different things, not just what, you know, is only on the news in your country. So these are some different things that are happening. But let's go back to, I think Ebola would be interesting to talk about for a little bit. Alex, what do you know about Ebola? Since you haven't been following the news, but you've obviously heard about it. What do you actually know?
What I know? Well, I know that this disease comes from Africa, and I know that this disease has been many times off, and now it has arise.
Has increased, yeah.
Has increased, yes. But I think this disease has been a lot of time. It has appeared like magic cards.
Well, it's been around for several years now, but right now they're just having more of an outbreak, an epidemic. But it's not a new virus. It's been around in different parts of Africa for quite a while. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Andre, what do you know about Ebola?
Actually, I know nothing about that.
Maybe that's better.
I just heard it as kind of disease which was originally from Africa, but that is all.
Okay, Carlos, what do you know?
I know a few things, but I think the people get crazy about Ebola because the flu is more dangerous than Ebola.
Right
but
now,
But the people don't talk about it, so I think the people need information about that. Be more critical about the news. The Ebola cannot transmit in how to say when
airborne.
you
It's
touch,
not airborne.
touch.
Oh, yeah, when you touch by contact.
Yeah, it's very difficult to transmit the disease.
Yes, that's true.
So I think it's the same tale because the industries, the pharmaceutical industries, get money about this again. So we have to wait and see what happens, but the finally outcome will be it for sure.
Okay. Elena, what do you know about it? Or what do you think about the reporting of it even?
Yes, I agree with Carlos that it's a mediatic thing. So I think it's quite important. Disease, but not as important as others like flu or I tuberculosis. I don't know. Or well, there are some other disease quite more important. But here in Spain, you know, we have had a case of Ebola, and that has turned into a political issue because the government have managed it quite bad, and well, so it has I don't know, has effects in sanitary policy and the way we see sanitary policy and a lot of things.
Yeah.
So it's I think it has sometimes it has a symbolic meaning as well. It's not just the sanitary problem, but it's more than that.
So it kind of opens up a larger discussion in.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sure.
At least here in Spain.
Right. Well, because you had the one nurse who got Ebola, but she's better now, right?
Yeah, she's well. She's
fine.
She's out of the disease now.
Yeah. Yeah.
A
Good.
couple of days ago.
Good. Okay. Evan, what about you? What do you know about this?
If I be honest, before I don't know the Ebola, I thought it's new virus, but it's appeared in March, and then I learned that it's appeared before in 76, something like this, in West Africa.
Right.
But yeah. So it's big disease. We should find some treatment about that. But so far, it's increased and spread the other countries. And when I open all TV channels and read news, all websites channels mention about this disease. But, actually, I don't have much knowledge about that.
Yeah. I think a lot of people didn't really know too much about it until it came to what we called the West. So like when it came to Spain, and then a couple of doctors came back to the United States. And so, yeah, it doesn't really seem too important until it hits like on your soil, we say, on your country. And then people start getting worried about it and stuff. So definitely there have been some panicky responses, maybe in part due to some of the news media and how they kind of make people afraid of something like this. Yeah. Yuki, how has it been reported on in Russia?
In Russia, it is reported, but not so often, because Russia have its own problem now. They have involving in Ukraine.
Right.
But
okay.
I think yes. I think now is many concern about many people concerned about what you said, panic situation surrounding Ebola. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now rising anti-African prejudice, yeah, is I think latest hot topic in the news, and you know, maybe yesterday, American doctor Ebola has been detected in
Yeah, this guy here.
in American doctor firstly, yeah, returned from Africa,
Right. Yeah.
So such a people, doctors, volunteers,
Volunteers, right.
yes, coming from Africa, they might be discriminated. Yes, it's a big problem, and UN Right Chief announced their anxiety, worry about anti-African discrimination and anti-doctors. So it is very interesting. It is very impressive. I have a very impression. Today I watched the CNN. Someone said that there are heroes. Yeah, heroes worked hardly in Africa. They fight against Ebola, and after coming back to America, they are discriminated. It is unfair. Yeah. So now I always think that American a standard way of thinking of Americans are hero or being hero or not being hero. So hero is very important
interesting
idea among Americans. Yeah.
Being a hero, yeah. Okay. Oh, you have to leave, Andrew. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah. Thanks for coming. Oh, we have some Juan Manuel joined us. Hi, Juan.
Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Good, thanks. Yeah, I wanted, before we move on to the next topic of some of the top stories that are happening in the news, I just wanted to give you guys this information that I found out today and read about, which I think is really important. Like I think, Carlos, you were saying, you have to be really careful when you're reading the news and not just believe everything you read or hear, because it might just be one part of the story or something, and certainly nobody wants to get sick or die, and so Ebola is kind of a scary thing for a lot of people, but the idea that you can treat it and that you don't necessarily have to die just because you get it isn't really being talked about so much. Hold on, let me mute you. And but they're coming out with more information now, like being hydrated is really important. And so one of the doctors who survived Ebola, he was saying that he had to drink, or she, maybe it was a she, 1.3 gallons of this hydration or rehydration mix every day. And it's really gross, I guess, and people don't like to drink it, and when you're sick and throwing up, you don't feel like it, but it's really important, and it can save your life, because that's part of the problem of this virus is you get dehydrated. You don't have enough, not just water, but the salt and sugar and stuff that your body needs to live. And so I thought that was interesting, and it's starting to be reported on, which is a little bit more positive spin on it. We can really help people this way. Okay. All right, let's see. So let's move on to another topic. So Elena, why do you think they're reporting about Brazil? It's not so important to the everyday Spanish person, but why do you think they are reporting on it?
Because Brazil is coming a big economical country.
yeah, that's true.
And I suppose here in Spain there are some people, some very rich people that have a lot of interest in what's happening there. As I said, if you make a poll here in Spain, I'm sure the vast majority of people don't know even that there are elections in Brazil.
Yeah, or who she is even, or anything. Yeah.
But yes, there are a lot of economical
interests, maybe?
interest between Spain and Brazil right now.
Mm-hmm. So maybe more for people who might have business interests or economic interests, financial interests in Brazil. Yeah.
Yes. In fact, I think it's a very important news, but well, it's not the kind of news that touch us.
Right. It's not so important unless you have a specific interest in Brazil. I don't know. You know, here in the United States, certainly it's the same thing. You know, the average American doesn't really pay attention too much to a lot of international news, especially you know, who won in Brazil. That would be very unimportant for a lot of people in a lot of ways. But certainly in some parts of the United States, like in Florida, California, we have quite a few Brazilian immigrants, so people from Brazil. So there's a huge Brazilian population in some cities in the United States where it would be talked about a lot more. And then, of course, Brazil is kind of a place for new business to go now. So people looking for investments and places to open up businesses, they're always concerned about the politics there and what's going to happen. For sure. So what about anybody else? Does anybody else know about what's going on in Brazil or have an interest, or is that something that we have a lot of Brazilian students on Verblink, so for sure for them it's important, but for other people around the world it's not probably so important unless you have a thing.
I heard their inflation is going on.
Yeah.
And many people cannot pay for their apartment, and they leave their apartment, and now many of them live in tent. Yeah. So that's why opposite party have a gain power, and it threatens this Brazil. Dilma Rousseff for election, but she won. But unstable situation among people feeling continues. So look, maybe you have to pay attention the situation in the future.
Yeah. Well, certainly, you know, Brazil is a very large country, and the largest one in South America, and so what's happening there is of interest to lots of governments around the world, you know, economically, but also politically, and so yeah, there's a lot happening in Brazil. People, you know, politicians in other countries certainly pay attention to what's happening. Carlos, you and Elena both mentioned about the corruption in Spain, and they've been reporting about the corruption in Brazil for this year as well during the elections and before. So I imagine some people are like making the connection there. Carlos, yeah?
I think that there is a battle in all the country, the same battle. Yes, between rich people and poor people in all the country. Here in Spain, in England, Brazil, no matter, in every country. So I think we need to change something in the world, because since the Soviet Union fell apart, the capitalists get more radical. So the people, they are just money. I don't know how to say it, but we are like a primary
primary
school.
What I mean? Yeah, like young kids chasing after money or something, maybe.
Yeah, so I think the world of the country, the people, must get together and fight against the rich people, because the rich people is very rich, very, very, very rich, and other people don't have anything to eat, to drink. It's very harmful, all these things, and you can imagine.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's another reason why some people like to follow what's happening in some of these, larger countries where the gap between the rich and the poor is quite large, and how are they going to we would say something like navigate that issue without creating a revolution or an overthrow of the government or something.
But we have a human right,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But for what?
Mm-hmm.
For nothing. All the countries signed the human right, and no one do it.
Nobody follows it. Yeah. Okay.
Very crazy. I don't understand.
Yeah, that's one of the things that Alex, maybe why you don't follow the news is because it can be very frustrating when you're reading the news and you're watching what these people are doing and how the different politicians are responding to different things that happen in their countries. It can be very frustrating. And then when you hear about the corruption, that's even more frustrating. So, Carlos, what exactly is happening in Spain related to corruption? What happened? What's the story?
There are so many stories.
Tell me, Elena.
We can't tell you. I'm sure we don't know. We Spanish people, we don't know how to start.
Oh, wow! People have actually been arrested, though, huh?
Yes, that is today, but yesterday was another thing, and it's awful. It's frustrating, and I don't know. It's terrible.
Are people? Is this something that is related to the economic crisis? Like, are they finding out that the politicians are like stealing money from the people, or what is it related to in terms of, like, what did they actually do? Do you know? Right. Okay.
Most of all, it is related with companies, especially building or construction companies, in the last years that had by politicians and that have bought politicians and that kind of things. But there are a lot of in our banks. The people who directed them. Well, not directed really. That just that people just was there. They have get a lot of money and.
Wow.
Always we have every day news like that.
More every day. Oh wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So basically, corruption between business and certain politicians, government officials, and things like that.
Yes.
Okay.
More, but yes, this is one of the main points.
Does it go all the way to the top of the government, or is it more just like in the middle level of the government?
No, middle height.
Okay.
Quite high.
Quite high. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. Have there been any like protests or anything like that? People coming out on the streets to show their No. Okay.
Perhaps a year ago or 2 years ago, there were more protests, but I don't know. I think we have get damned or.
Yeah. Alex, did you hear about this?
Yes, I hear this every day.
Yeah.
It's very common, but I think not only in Spain. I think the corruption is common in every country.
Yeah.
Poor and rich. So.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's nothing new. It's almost. I think there's like debates about do politics does the idea of being an elected politician, does that attract those type of people already, or once you get into a position of power, do you become more easily corruptible even if you weren't that way before? So, but it seems to be pretty common, especially in when you have power, power and control over money, for example, and things like that. Yeah.
Mm.
Yes. So Evren, what are you doing in Iraq actually? Are you working there?
Yeah, I work for one company selling medical devices, and I'm working as marketing manager. So far, and then Daesh, we call ISS here Daesh.
Okay.
They came and they appear.
Mm.
All business going down, slow down, no any new investments. So and then the north of Iraq and south of Iraq had some arguments, and they didn't deal with about these topics, about oil.
Oil, yeah.
And Mosul right now under control is ISS. Some towns also. The others. And right now in Kobane in Syria, Kurdish area.
Yeah.
And now ISS try to get in Kobane and the Kurd north of Iraq. I mean Kurdish army want to help them. They want to. They need help from Turkey to make one way to enter Kobane. For these soldiers.
Yeah.
But still, I don't know what happened currently.
Wow. So where you're living, is there any fighting happening?
I'm living in Erbil. Erbil, the capital of Kurdistan.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
In here, I think no like these things. No. Someone attacked, or just maybe 1 month ago, there was one explosion. Yeah, it was hot point.
Yeah.
So far, no like this, but the peoples here are so afraid, and then they all follow so closely. But I don't care so much. I don't know why, but
you're not concerned about it, or
I'm not concerned so much like them.
Okay, so that's where you are right there on the map.
Sure.
Your area. Okay, Erbil, right there. Okay. So in where you're living, are there ISIS people, or that's not really happening?
Okay.
Are there people who support ISIS in Erbil?
No. Maybe there are, but nobody mentioned about it.
Okay, so all right, yeah. Okay, okay, so, but does that feel like the biggest thing that's happening for you in the news is what's happening in Iraq? Like that's the most important thing on people's minds right now?
Right now, actually, I have been living here for 5 months, so I came to here, and then the ISS appeared.
Yeah.
Now I'm confident to go back or looking for another job. I'm thinking, but so far everybody hope to getting better. But
yeah.
We don't know what will happen.
Yeah. Okay.
And so bad things happen here. One journalist from USA, from UK, they cut their head.
Yeah, I heard about that. I didn't want to watch that, but some people watched that. Yeah.
Sure,
yeah. Huh. All right. Yuki, what's happening in Japan? What's the latest news in Japan that you've been following?
In Japan, two woman minister has resigned, quitted.
Why?
Because it is because of the violation of election laws. They are accused of. They are alleged to have misused fund from supporter group.
Oh, okay.
And other donations. So they received donations illegally.
Oh.
But it is very interesting. One of new woman ministers just was giving giving beer. Do you know beer? In hot summer, beer is very useful. Beer.
Okay.
Paper beer. Yeah.
Oh, paper bills. Okay, bills. Yeah.
On paper bill, there is an advertisement of this candidate. So it.
These things.
It is said that it's a violation of election law. That's why she was accused, and after that she quit. So recently, Prime Minister Abe reformed the cabinet because popularity of his popularity was declining. So he decided to reform his cabinet.
Yeah.
And Japan is many people think Japan is a developed country, but in terms of utilization of women, Japan is still developed country. Only maybe 10 or 20% of manager is women. So Abe want to. Prime Minister Abe want to appeal that his cabinet make best use of women's power. So he applied 5 women minister in his cabinet. The first time such a big number of women ministers, but already 2 of them resigned. And 3 of them have alleged to connection to ultraviolet politicians, not ultraviolet, ultraviolet organization. So there are very Abe have a big difficulties from in the beginning of his new cabinet. Understand?
Yeah.
Difficult.
May I say something?
Confusing, but yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
I like the Japanese people moral values. This corruption, as you mentioned before, corruption occurred in Turkey also. Some ministry also happened like this situation, and nobody make them to pressure to resign. But after that, maybe they still continues for a while, and then they resigned. But we always heard about Japanese people, if they make and then if they accept their fault, their wrong, and then they going to or value.
Sorry.
There we go. What do you think, Yuki?
Okay, now I can hear.
Yeah, you kind of went out a minute there, Everett.
So you are talking about Japanese mentality, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I myself, I don't understand why by giving bills on which candidate's name was written is a breaking law, and new minister have to quit a job. I don't understand, but but among Japanese, it is common things that feel ashamed after scandal, continue their job as if it was nothing happened. So it is the mentality of Japanese, maybe.
Yes, humility and shame.
Humility,
Yeah.
yes.
I
Even
wish we have also like this mentality.
Maybe
Don't
we
have.
have more people like that. Yeah.
It's mentality. There is pros and cons. Sometimes it works good, but sometimes it's
Because we are here, harakiri, like suicide.
yes, harakiri. That's a good point. Harakiri is
because
that's a good point. Harakiri is the one with such a feeling, feeling of ashamed,
Yeah.
So they so before
something happen like corruption, they are going to be face people so normally they are talking, yes, no, this is they are liar, nothing happened like this. But everybody knows we are not kids. But
yes.
They speak so normally. Their behavior normally. It make me crazy, and I'm so.
You're frustrated watching them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't understand. Yes, I also don't understand Japanese mentality.
Yeah. Well, I think he's saying, in other countries, maybe when a person has lied and cheated and corrupted, been corrupted, they just keep living their lives like, oh well, no big deal, But maybe in Japan, people are more ashamed of what they did. They feel more sorry, and they'll actually take actions to step down or to make amends or something like that. Is that what you're saying, Evan?
Sure, exactly what I'm trying to say. That.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, it is amazing that for many Japanese to be suspected, just suspected, it's a shame. So it leads to the quitting job. Maybe sometimes before killing themselves by harakiri. Yeah.
You don't need to
falling under suspicion is a big shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
For Japanese mentality.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I want to let you guys go because it is time. So thanks for coming and talking about the news, and we'll see what happens with all these stories as they unfold this week. Thanks, guys, for coming and participating.
I'm sorry for bad explanation.
Hey, that's fine. We understood. Okay, guys. Take care, everybody.
Thank you for fun time.
Yeah.
Take care. Hope to see
okay,
you
bye.
soon. Goodbye.
Bye, Majid.
Bye.